We need to have like intros to sections. You know what I mean?
That's a conspiracy, Brock.
This is Conspiracy
I
Breakdown
don't believe
with
in
your host,
conspiracies.
Brock A. Smith. How is it going, everybody?
All right, get to it.
Let's hit it.
Some explosive news.
Got some explosive news. It's called the Brown Note. Does it really exist? On this next episode of After Dark.
After dark. What are chemtrails?
Conspiracies. Crickets. Are they really your friend or
Fighting.
are they your really foes? Friend or foes? Crickets. On the next episode of We News. Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of the Drop Culture QuickCast. Tonight, I'm sitting here with three of my best good friends. Over to the left of me, I got Tyson.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Tyson.
Right across the table, which you can't see because you're listening, I got...
Hello, Mitchell here.
And then to the right of me, I have...
And I'm Daniel.
And
Very loud,
if you've been listening to us, you know who we are.
That's
but we
right.
still like to give an intro. So what we talk about on the QuickCast is pretty much everything that we love. This might be coming up. Might not be anything that we're really going to be into too much, but it's something honorable mention, I guess that is a good way to put it, that we're kind of excited about to see. Because again, we love all things comic books, pop culture, whatnot. So this week, who's got movie news?
Just a little bit of movie news. Warner Brothers has let John Francis Daley and what's his name, Jonathan Goldstein go from The Flash. They were working on the Flash movie.
Right.
So they've hired Annie Machete or whatever his name is, and his sister is going to produce it, Barbara or whatever. He's known for a movie called Mama, but he also has made It and It Chapter 2, which were big hits for the studio. Well, the second
one's going to be a big hit.
Yeah, we'll
too.
talk about that when it gets closer to September there. But they've hired him to direct, and they've hired Christina Hobson to write it. She wrote Birds of Prey and what's it called? What's that one? Bumblebee?
Yeah,
Saw
Bumblebee the movie. Yeah.
That was actually pretty good, man.
Yeah. Did you finally get to see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty good movie all the way through. Like I think that, again, me and Tyson were talking about this earlier. If they did the first Transformers movie, cool, because that was such a badass movie. But
Right.
if they put this right afterwards instead of doing part 2, it would have increased the overall satisfaction for all of us Transformer fans.
Right.
I think that's my personal opinion because it was just really good.
Right,
Everything
but
about
I
it
feel
was
like they
awesome.
couldn't have. I think they're just course correcting.
So that portion is over.
Yeah.
It gets stale, and then now do it again. And Christine Hobson, Paramount had got together with a bunch of writers a while back. I don't know if you guys remember, but like the two guys who wrote Iron Man and I can't remember. There were a bunch of names in there that were you can look that up. But she was in this writers' room, and she was the one that kind of got the green light to write the screenplay for Bumblebee, which was a hit, and then the new Harley Quinn movie that's coming out, Birds of Prey, in February. So I just think that's cool. Like, I'm excited for The Flash. I know that, again, Warner Brothers had hired Ezra Miller to write the screenplay. He was trying to tackle it with Grant Morrison. I like Grant Morrison.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess they didn't like the report said they didn't like his darker take or whatever. They're going to still keep Ezra Miller on, hopefully.
It's probably because he shot God or something.
Yeah. That'd have been cool. Or like just had a
Who,
conversation.
Jim Caviezel?
That'd have been cool.
That's right.
Wait a minute, I'm way off. Way off. That was Moses.
Morrison just probably took some pokes that he doesn't need to take, which is fine. I enjoy his writing.
Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah.
But
I like it a
I
lot.
can see why other people might not. That's fine.
He's a little darker tone on
So, yeah,
most
that-
of his stuff.
That's just some of the more movie news that I saw coming out.
Dan, movie news?
Didn't really have much on the movie news for me currently. What about you, Brock?
There's really not a lot. Again, because we've been faced with this in the last couple of months, really, that most of the bigger blockbusters already came out this year. So, I mean, everything's kind of riding on those summer blockbusters, which is really not a lot. We've already talked about Midsommar.
Yeah, I got to see
Spider-Man.
Midsommar and Spider-Man is kind of the ones I need to go see.
Yeah,
and Toy Story.
So obviously we're recording this before the holiday here.
Yeah, well,
and I'm going to see.
So next,
Far From Home
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
no.
By the time you hear this,
Yeah.
I'll have already seen it.
We'll have
You
already seen it.
lucky
We'll talk
son
about it
of a-
maybe next time.
This
You
is
guys
this,
both-
profit.
yeah. This is the future. So
I'm not going to make a profit. I'm just going to be a prophet.
So with
Dun,
with this little dry spell, what I've been thinking about is what I've been watching on like Netflix and Hulu and all the streaming services because that's what we watch. And I think a couple of really cool movies coming to Netflix this month are Mean Streets and Taxi Driver.
Okay.
I haven't really ever
Awesome.
really sat down and watched Mean Streets all
Really?
the way
Okay.
through.
Oh,
Like I've
dude.
seen it, Taxi Driver, of course. So I think
Right.
these are going to be ones because earlier I was watching Martin Scorsese. I think his first movie that he did with Keitel.
Keitel?
Was it that Mean Streets?
No. It was a black and white movie, and it looked pretty interesting. But you could really tell Scorsese's style with it, and he uses a lot of really good music with it. So it came out about the same time that, of course, like Night of the Living Dead, everything like that. So it was kind of being filmed at the same time, all black and white, more gritty, and the slow mo action, and it was already pretty cool. So I'm pretty interested in looking at that one.
Heck
Cool.
yeah.
Other than that, though, have you guys been watching anything on the streaming services? Watching anything movies at home?
Not any. I'll be honest. I haven't watched a movie in a week, which is unfortunate.
No,
But
I'm so sorry to interrupt. Spider-Man Into the
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse is on Netflix.
Yep.
yeah, which was
Yep.
awesome.
It was
That's
a great
amazing.
movie, too, yeah.
That was
It
awesome.
was pretty cool. It was a cool take on it. Everything that they did with it was pretty awesome. I liked
Yeah, I
all
like
the different
Jake
Peter
Johnson's-
Parkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter B. Parker. I like that one.
Yeah, it was just really cool stuff on there. TV guys, anything for TV coming up? Really?
Some cool stuff that's getting ready to just getting announced. Really, nothing that's going to hit the screen anytime soon. Netflix picked up Neil Gaiman's Sandman for a
Yes.
series. It's going to be the most expensive show ever made by DC Entertainment, Warner
Wow.
Media, whatever it is.
They're throwing a lot
Warner
of money
Media,
at it.
yeah,
Warner
yeah.
Media. Mhm.
Well, hopefully
Um,
it'll stick around. After
they-
that first season.
Well, they've been trying to. Well, you think they'll do more than one season?
I don't know. I mean, they have so many different
absolutely
books.
could.
Yeah.
Okay.
Their
I've never
books
read
are-
Sandman.
Yeah.
I know that it's been in development for a long time.
Yeah.
Right.
And most recently, like Joseph Gordon-Levitt was attached to it, and they couldn't get it really, I guess, off the ground. And whoever was writing it said, I can forget their name, but whoever was last writing it was like, this needs to be a TV show. So I guess that's good news for Sandman fans out there and fans of Dream and stuff like
And
that.
there's a lot of
I read a
people
lot
that-
of that in the 90s.
Cool.
Like, probably not for multiple, maybe a couple years or something. I read.
Well,
some.
and Neil Gaiman's stuff's been getting adapted. The Good Omens show and American Gods or whatever.
Absolutely. American
So-
Gods is amazing, by the way. If you guys haven't watched all of that, that's pretty good.
Cool.
Is that on
Um,
Stars?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I have not watched that.
It's good. It's worth watching.
So
I
I think
enjoyed it.
with the addition of like those successful shows and then Netflix, I heard there was kind of like a bidding war over it a little bit.
Yeah, that's what
So-
I had heard as well.
So that's cool.
Well,
Cool news.
I mean, Netflix has got that advantage to where they could throw a lot of money at something. And I tried to think about this the other day of how Netflix is producing their stuff because they produce so much. But if they produce 100 things and 5 of them are really big hits, they've already made their fucking money, so they can do it, which is pretty awesome.
I
Well,
think,
it sounds
yeah,
like this is
I
kind
don't
of
know.
going to be Warner Media throwing a lot of money at it too. So that's probably better for both of them.
Yeah.
Netflix may pitch in some, but it sounds like the bulk of it's going to be
Warner.
paid for by Warner.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I heard
which is fine.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
weird since they have their own streaming app coming out that they would
Well,
do that, but that's okay.
It's
We'll
a good
stay with that.
introductory. Yeah.
We'll stay with that here when you bring up the next topic. But I heard just now I was looking online and I heard they might call it HBO Max.
Okay.
Are they merging Cinemax and HBO together? No.
Well, they're both owned by the same company.
Yes!
It's all Warner Media.
Then we get to have as many
Skinabo.
Zalman
You could have
Kings.
Skinabo.
So we're talking about
Richie Diaries.
The Warner Media streaming service is going to come out with what is it, Dan? An animated series?
Yeah, the Gremlins animated series.
Oh yeah. That looked pretty.
Secrets of the Mogwai.
Yeah.
It's a prequel.
Sure.
Yeah. No, it literally. I think what I
So,
read.
10 episodes that were ordered. They're half-hour episodes.
How many?
10.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So what was it like? It's the story of how Home Dude, the original owner of,
The ancient gift shop.
Gizmo.
You probably means you've read more into this than I have.
Yeah, and I
read like half an article and was like, I got to make sure I mention that.
Yes, I know. You sent it to me, and I was
I've
like,
been on the
"Ooh."
roads a lot.
Yeah, and no, it looked really cool because like it's the story of that, but there's also like an evil conglomerate or something like that, like a Daniel Clamp or something,
Right.
but in Japan or something maybe.
Oh, cool.
Why
That
not?
like owns like a evil horde of gremlins.
I wonder what it'll look like.
in some way. I hope it's not so cutesy cutesy, but I hope that it's like good enough to where it grabs your attention, because that'll be a really fucking great idea.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Why would you not?
Yeah,
We talk all the time about like how there could be cool prequels for things or sequels for things.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done an episode on pitching that, I think.
And I still got about 50 million of them. Zombie Squad.
I'm telling you, I think they're going to beat you to it, though.
I know.
They've already licensed
Yeah,
it.
I know, but
maybe now is the time. Maybe
I
now
know.
the time's hot. You got to like give it to them.
I'm gonna be like, here you go, Mr.
Hey,
Stallone.
this is in the works right now. Nothing's been settled. Boom.
I sold my dog for this.
Oh my god.
Next
That's
thing
what
you
he
know,
did for Rocky.
Next thing you know, Brock's some big hotshot rider. We're like, hey, Brock, it's time to do the podcast. He's like, pshaw.
I do not have time.
Hold
Talk to
on,
my
guys.
assistant.
I'm gonna phone this one in. Is that okay?
Here, I have a tape recorder that is perfectly timed to your discussion, so I will just set this down here.
Listen to me and go off my cues. Okay,
And
ready? Go.
I caught up on Marvel's Shield.
Ah,
That was
there we
pretty
go.
good.
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., huh?
Yeah, I was a little surprised. I was kind of not looking forward to it, which is why I had like 6 or 7 episodes to watch, because they have a habit of bringing characters back to life.
Right.
They killed
Coulson again.
Coulson, yeah, again.
No.
But the guy who plays Coulson is playing a guy who looks just like Coulson from another dimension, and it's actually cool. It's
Ah.
like good. I thought it was going to be terrible just because of the premise, and so far so good. So
That's
yeah.
right. I know.
Other than that, though, really, I've been watching a lot of documentaries on Netflix. One that I want to mention that was actually caught me off guard that was really cool, because they have a lot of like Nintendo old retro gaming documentaries, and this one's called Nintendo Quest. This guy has 30 days. He's got to collect all 678 Nintendo retail sold games
Okay.
without using eBay, without using anything, and he's got to travel and find them all.
How long does he
Wow.
have?
30 days. And he
Ooh, that's
works
rough.
too. And this
Wow.
dude works, and it's in Canada.
What
he
the
really
hell does
doesn't-
he do?
I don't know what he does, but he's like,
like an engineer.
His buddy was like, "Let me give you this challenge," and he gives him this fucking challenge, and he's like,
No, I don't know.
All right, why not?
Yeah.
Well, there's so many games.
Not a guy that works in an office and has to punch in.
Correct,
that's
but
for sure.
well, a couple of times he had to go back to work, which is kind of crazy. But
Okay.
at this one point, like
maybe he's just at that point in his career where he could just be like, "Hey, I'll be back."
well. And have you
Hold on
ever?
a sec.
Let me ask you: have you ever heard of the most rarest or the rarest game for Nintendo ever?
Can I take a stab at it?
Go for it.
It's a track and field game or a world something champion.
Is that it?
Yeah,
It's close.
it's not track and field. It's like world.
It was what became. It's called stadium events.
Yes.
Stadium
Right.
events.
So this
Wow.
dude, like, he has a list of like 25 of his must-haves.
Well, real
right?
quick, the reason stadium event is so expensive,
Yeah.
and so rare, is that it was a company that made it, right?
Okay.
Put it on the Nintendo console. Nintendo bought it, rebranded it a different
Track
name,
and field
and made it Nintendo.
Yeah,
Track and field.
track
But I
and
don't think
field,
it was track and field.
But they
was the
released it
original
with
one, right?
the Power Pad.
Yeah, it was. the
So
one
they
thing with the
rebranded
Power Pad.
everything, changed everything. So only 200 of these copies were sold in the
Oh, wow.
U.S.
Yeah.
Oh,
So these
wow.
things are selling for like one of the guys in there says that literally only 10 of them in the box have actually been found. Legit, you know. So this game is. He showed one on eBay that somebody was selling for $77,000. Crazy, but those weren't the other rarest one. Was like the World Championship one from
That's-
'90.
Yeah.
That was another one because there was like
That's the other one.
there was a whole bunch of those that were released, like 200 or something crazy like that. But then there was also like 25 gold ones that were released,
Right.
and those are the ones that are even rarer. Well,
What's
this
it called
dude-
again? I'm sorry.
It's called Nintendo Quest. Now it's really cool because
No,
it
what
kinda-
was the game that's gold? That's
it was
rare?
as the World Championship of Nintendo or something like
Oh,
that.
oh,
Nintendo
yeah.
World Champions,
Yeah,
NWO, yeah, or NWC. So you can actually play. They're timed like games and shit like that, just
Yeah.
like the Wizard.
Right.
So like it was coinciding with all of that stuff in 1990,
Cool.
which is cool. This dude, like, I'm not going to ruin anything, but you got to watch it because it's really fucking cool. It's just unusual that it came out. Now this dude's actually got like it's almost like a YouTube series on Netflix.
Yeah.
So it's not
Cool.
the guy that was the main person in it. It was like the guy that directed it. So he talks about Super Nintendo in a couple of episodes. But there's a lot of those retro documentaries on that. The other one was it's called 80s Blockbusters.
Real
when-
quick, Mitchell, why haven't we made a video game documentary yet?
It's because you've been pushing it off for weeks, and I've been bugging you.
Damn it!
I've just been
They
saying.
beat us to the punch.
I just like we've been
And
working
all
on
of these
this.
came out in like 2018 too.
That's awesome.
Like literally, so they're new and they've just been creeping up on my feed on Prime. It's on Amazon Prime, just like this one, 80s blockbusters when Hollywood played tough.
Oh, nice.
And it was